Well, let's talk about, after my accident, what happened with insurance. Because everyone wants to know that, right? What happened to insurance? Just because the DA and the cops said, hey, there's no case here, you did nothing wrong with my video footage and everything, even though there's a lot of commenters on YouTube that feel like they want to argue, like, you hit the guy, blah, blah, blah. If you notice, one person said, well, he's turning left. After I clearly said, if you pause it, hence the slow motion, if he's turning left, he would have been in the ditch. He wasn't turning left, and he doesn't work to the left, and he doesn't live around there. Why would you turn into a neighborhood? You wouldn't. Also, he crossed the double yellow line himself. So even if you say, well, you shouldn't have crossed the double yellow line to slow down, I guess there's no people think you can't bend rules for an emergency situation, like somebody braking, you realizing they're braking a lot and harder than you thought, and you need more room to slow down. He crossed the double yellow line to cut in front of me and then hit the brakes again. That's clear as day in the video, but people don't like watching or listening to me talk, so they just watch the video and leave a comment. You can do that. If it's really insane and asinine, I just delete your comment. It's that simple, people. It's my channel. I do what I want to do. But I typically leave comments, but if you're just going to be an ass, it gets deleted. It's really that simple. However, even with the DA and the cops saying, hey, your video's good, this guy passed you on a double yellow, he then proceeded to cause an accident, we have no case here, you did nothing wrong, we're dropping charges against you. Now, I don't know what happened to William Mitchell. I didn't go to his case. I wasn't called to go to his case. So I really don't know. I'm assuming he probably did what most people do and took a plea deal. He probably took the $200, assuming he has a good driving record. I mean, I don't know. If he has a good driving record, it's probably what they offered me, $200 and a year probation. And then I was like, no, I have video evidence. And then I went back and actually, that's when they actually look at, do we have a case? Oh, no, we don't. So the court hopes you pay the first time. I've talked about that. So as far as insurance goes, though, insurance did say I hit him from behind no matter what he was doing. That's how they just pretty much explained it. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't really quite understand, but that was pretty much the gist of it is, well, you hit him from behind. We don't care what the video shows, and we don't care what the court ends up ruling. I was like, oh, okay, fine. So AAA, if you have AAA, they did something different. I'm like anyone else. I've had a speeding ticket in the past, right, when I lived in Michigan and stuff, and I had one out here early on when I got out here on a motorcycle and one in a car early on, way 10 plus years ago. And we're just known like speeding ticket. Like the car one was like 5 over or something. The motorcycle one was a big ticket. It was on a sport bike. Maybe I'll talk about that one day. That's still painful to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about that one day, but that's for another video. What basically, so the insurance said you hit somebody from the rear. They sent me a letter saying we're raising your rates $750. So insurance said $750. I've never had an accident on record. I had 2 accidents, I guess. Well, actually 3. I had one with a sport bike. Guy drove off. Never stuck around before GoPros and stuff, so never got his plate. The other one was in my Ford Escort that I had way back. It was a 97. It was while I was at university. A guy changed lanes, was in the left turn lane at a light, and I'm coming up to go right, and he decided wet weather, change lanes at the light, like literally one of those move over, and didn't leave me enough room to brake. And I slid into the back of him, but he was a man. He said, take it to a body shop and I'll pay. Yeah, I just had like a little scratch. Took it to a collision place locally. They wrote me an estimate, $200. I gave it to him. He knew the owner of that body shop, and he said, I trust their opinion, so here's $200. It was easy. I never got fixed. I mean, like I said, it was a little scratch, but he paid up. He realized what he did was wrong, and he paid up. Another time was kind of like this incident where a kid, a high schooler, decided he wanted to get in front of me, passed me on a double yellow, and literally swerved into me having the pit maneuver done to him, spun out, went through a ditch, went through a chain link fence, and the rear of the car smacked a tree. He got out, he was fine. Car total. Car was bent like that, smashed in on the back panel, just caved in. He obviously caused property damage. Cop came out. Kid was trying to say somehow I passed him on the shoulder. Luckily, it had snowed, because again, this was before dash cams and GoPros. And I said, well, if that's true, if I passed him on the shoulder, officer, it just snowed. There's snow, fresh snow on the shoulder. And a cop walked back the road, and there was no tire marks. Came back and goes, yeah, I don't believe your story. Sir, you can go. And he wrote him a bunch of tickets. I heard back from that because I got served papers to appear in court. My father was coming back from overseas, and I called the DA, and DA goes, oh, don't worry, you don't have to show up. Did they pay anything, or did his insurance pay? I said, his insurance claims I'm 50% at fault, because this was back in Michigan. They assigned 50% fault to me, even though it's a no-fault state. Insurance still assigns fault. So the DA goes, don't worry about it. What's the total? And again, surprisingly, all the damage he had, all I had on my Ford, I had a Ford Explorer at this time, was, again, just a scratch on the front. It was like a couple $100 and split the car. So I got a check for like $100 as part of the judgment, because that kid actually, I don't know if he was forced to go to court or what, but as part of the deal, the DA made him pay me $100. So I literally got a check for $100. Well, it was a money order, but $100. So, you know, when that stuff happens, right? So I've been in a few accidents, but nothing on my record. I've never had anything where I claimed against insurance or anything. So AAA raising my rates $750 seemed kind of outrageous, considering I have a clean record, had a clean record for a while. No, no speeding tickets. I've never had an accident claim ever. And of course, you just get a runaround with them. I am contacting AAA corporate, and they saw one of my YouTube videos, and they came back, and the lady goes, you know what? We reran your, not my credit score, but my insurance score. We reran your insurance score, and you have a very high score because you never have claims, you've never had accidents. All that's going to happen to you is your rate is $100 more, basically. We're going to minus off basically $650 of that. We're only raising your rate $100 because you have such a great driving record, because you have such a great insurance score. Yes, there's a thing as insurance score. So if you feel like your rate is too high due to you've never had an accident, you haven't had a speeding ticket forever, call your insurance company and ask them to rerun your insurance score. What is your insurance score? And see what happens. If you have to, call corporate and ask them, like, hey, I don't feel like this rate is correct, and I feel like you need to adjust it. Please rerun my insurance score. Let's see what we can do. I'd like to stay with you, but I'm not going to if the rate is that high. I just can't. I have to shop around and see what type of insurance company they are. It worked for me, and like I said, it only went up $100. I'll take $100. $750 is pretty hard to swallow, considering I go to court and I get all that dismissed. with the video evidence. DA's like, nope. You know, and the cops looked over the evidence. Yeah, there's nothing here. We don't have anything. So that's what you need to do for insurance. So make sure you talk to your insurance company and ask them why it's going up. Ask what can be done, because this is outrageous. Of course, the girls down below aren't going to do anything. It took me actually sending a video to AAA through private messenger on Facebook, and they actually had corporate call me. Like within 2 days, corporate calling me saying, hey, you know, we reran your score, and no, we don't want you to leave, you know. That's pretty awesome. And it shows what driving record I have. And it shows that I don't make claims just to make claims either. A lot of people, oh my God, I got a little scratch, I'm gonna claim. Oh, my windshield's cracked, oh, I gotta make a claim. I usually just pay that stuff out of pocket. And a lot of people are like, well, yeah, but you have insurance, you know, your windshield's cracked, why don't you just have them covered? And technically the law says that they can't raise your rate if it's, you know, something like that. I'm like, BS. BS that they won't raise your rate. The law can say whatever it wants. They'll raise your rate. So I'd rather just pay a lot of things out of pocket like that, the little stuff, and then save big stuff like the accident to getting paid. Now, as far as getting paid, I got paid by AAA right away. I went and got an estimate, and they asked what I want. I said, I want to fix the car myself. They said, okay. They sent me X amount. I don't know. I want to say it was like $1,300. I started taking things apart. I noticed one of the front brackets bent. I noticed the cooling condenser was slightly bent in, but it's not leaking. It's fine. But technically, that's all covered. Took pictures of that, sent that to them. They sent me another check for like, I don't know, I want to say like $500, $600. So I got like $2,000. Well, so I went ahead and put an aftermarket rear bumper, aftermarket front bumper, the grill, I still went ahead and put the louvers back in, because this is the EcoBoost as the louvers. I think most of the Fords do now. So upper and lower louvers, a bracket that was in there that was broke. I could have probably fixed the other one with my plastic welder, but it was cheap. It was like $25, so I just replaced it. I probably got a few extra parts I didn't need. I probably could have skipped on the lower louver, to be honest, with this bumper, but I went ahead and put all that back on. I could have pocketed a big chunk of the change from doing the repairs if I didn't do the rear bumper, but I wanted them to match, so I did the rear one, did the front one, and that way they all match. And you know, basically I got aftermarket heavy duty bumpers, and I would say mid-grade, but you know, compared to the stock ones, they are heavy duty. Once I took the stock one off, it's like, oh my God, this thing is so flimsy. That these are a lot better. That I got aftermarket bumpers what a shop would have charged to have the factory ones back on, which just would have sucked. So if you can do the work, that pays out. They paid me right away. That was great, and no issues there. Internet peeps, hopefully this video helps you out and gives you some ideas and some insight in how the insurance worked for me and stuff. Maybe gives you tips to how to go about approaching your insurance company and say, hey, I want you to run my insurance score to see if I qualify for actually still a lower rate, because I haven't had any tickets, I haven't had any accidents. And yeah, I might not have been with you a year to have accident forgiveness, but I have a good insurance score, and I would like you to relook at that, revisit that, and could you do that? And a good chance is, if you're telling the truth, then your rate's not going to go up nearly as much as they first were hike them up to. So give them a chance. Don't complain about it and just pay it. Call them and ask them. So hopefully this helps you out. Please like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. Have a good one. Bye.